Hey guys, so I did a live video a couple weeks back, and as promised, we're going to do a twin flame video explaining what a twin flame is, and we're going to go into some other explanations too. So you guys know me, I'm Brittany.
Kevin.
So we're going to go in and do a couple explanations of what is a twin flame, and then you guys have probably seen us posting too about 3D, 5D, and a lot of maybe words that you guys are like, I have no idea what they're talking about. So, what is a twin flame? Some people believe that we, as a soul, reincarnate multiple lifetimes. We believe that. Some people don't believe that. And we totally do not judge, and we send love to whatever your values are. This is just us speaking our experience in this lifetime. Like when you meet somebody and you're like, gosh, I just click with them, I know them, like it's like I've known you forever. You probably have known them forever, and you've probably had lifetimes with that person, like whether it was a romantic person or a best friend or a mom or something like that. So the cool thing that we're getting into now is kind of learning about where our past lifetimes were and what the lessons were that we learned coming into this lifetime, and how those past life lessons can really help us grow. So yes, a twin flame is one soul that at soul level decided, well, we're going to go into this lifetime in a 3D life. So 3D is our life right now. This body, this shell, whatever we want to call it. We've decided to split and become two 3D people. So the mission of twin flames, and coming into now, you know, there's a lot of twin flames that are finding each other. A lot of people are starting to learn about twin flames. Kevin and I decided in this lifetime that we were going to find each other and we were going to do the work. The work means a lot. So the work is basically your inner child, which if any of you have gone to therapy, like I have for a lot of time, they say, you know, your inner child feels abandoned, your inner child feels neglected, your inner child struggles with attention issues or whatever it might be. So, you know, you'd hear that in therapy. Well, you hear that too in a twin flame relationship, because when you meet that person, you go through all these different phases, and we're going to go in and talk about that. But one of the phases is not even a phase. Throughout pretty much after the recognition and you know you're a twin flame, your inner child comes and like starts bringing up all the stuff that you haven't resolved, all the issues and triggers that you need to work through to be able to spread more love and more light. We've kind of brought a mentor couple into our lives a little bit, and they are Twin Flame Revolution. If you guys look them up, they have some awesome videos. They've done a lot of work. They've been through a lot of stuff, and they are in an amazing space. What we couldn't find, and why I feel like my guides, my angels, and just my higher self is like, do videos, is there's no twin flames that we've found as of yet that are still trying to hit that point of the ascension, the union, and all of our gifts are really like coming full force. So I wanted to be able to explain where we are, because I bet there's a lot of people out there that are in our phase and they don't even know what they're going through yet. So picking up all of these tools along the way and picking up mentors and just really diving into what our purpose is here, I feel like this is a part of it. And so we want to be here for you guys to talk about our lives and be vulnerable with you and answer questions, because I know I've had people messaging me at least kind of saying, oh, I think I met my twin flame. I know you do too. You've got people reaching out to you. So we just want to be able to like give our knowledge to you, and you know, we're going to learn from you guys too. So
yeah, and you may have already said this, but be clear that we don't have all the answers. Mm-hmm. We're not perfect. We aren't experts, but we have gone through what we've gone through, and like she said, we're wanting to share to help as many people as we can, but in turn this helps us get farther along and just grow into our ascension, like what our purpose is here on life, is on earth in life, is to help as many people as we can, and this is one way that we can help as many people, one by one. Just let them understand what they're going through and that it's okay. Mm-hmm. It's okay to have these feelings. It's okay to have these emotions. It's okay to go through the hard times. It's okay to be vulnerable with each other. It's okay to be, I mean, it's never amazing to be mad at someone, but to understand what that anger and jealousy and what that trigger and what all of that is and why that's coming up and why the twin flame is showing you who you are and how most people don't want to deal with who they are. They don't want to deal with what they're going through, how they react to something, how they talk to somebody, how they behave to somebody. That's why people out there are like subconsciously just asleep. Everybody's awake and they're feeding themselves with drugs and alcohol or any kind of addiction or something to just get away. And that's a very touchy subject, and there's no judgment there with that. So I want to make sure that we're not judging, but there is, people want to get away from what is going to help them ascend and get better.
And when we say ascend too, some people might be like, what does that mean? So ascension, when we say that, is, for us, that's the word that we use when we're talking about getting past our egos and getting past all of our internal stuff. And because we are one soul that has split into two and now we found each other, we are a mirror to each other. So there's a lot of things that I will do that will trigger him to be frustrated, sometimes a little angry, sometimes upset, and vice versa. And the tool that we're still trying to use is when I do something that triggers you to get frustrated, it's flipping it because I'm mirroring something that you haven't worked through just yet. Or there's a trigger that you're like, ooh, I don't like that feeling. It's jealousy, it's anger, it's frustration, but why? And I think that a lot of people are just like, well, just because I don't like you. Well, you maybe don't like that person in that moment, but there's something internally that your soul is like, nope, don't like that. So there's this why in the road that you can either say, just gonna walk away and gonna let my ego not deal with that anymore, which is the easier route to go most of the time. Or there's the harder route, which is like, let's dig deeper, and what is my trigger coming from? Is it past life, maybe something that's happened that I haven't been able to deal with yet? Is it childhood issues? Is it past relationships and it's triggering in this relationship? And then dig even deeper into what is that at a soul level. You know, taking all of your ego out of this, taking a look at the problem with nothing but love. And that's a big thing with twin flames.
Hard to do.
Really hard
to do. Like, really hard to do.
And getting through those little milestones and getting past each and every little issue that arises and trigger that happens, that is leading us closer and closer to ascending into our higher selves and what we call the 5D.
Which is amazing.
And we get there sometimes and it's like euphoric and it's beautiful, where everything is love, where everything is...
You're going to explain that, where everything is love. People are going to be like, what is 5D? What are you talking about, 5D?
So in the 3D, all of the ego emotions like jealousy, hate, fear, frustration, all of that lives in our 3D shells, in our 3D ego. When you come out of that and you meditate and you sit in nature, or you just kind of like lay in your bed and are alone with yourself and you get into thinking thoughts that are very positive and very uplifting, and you go into your soul or into your heart, that's coming into 4D, 5D, like into higher dimensions of thought. Consciousness. And the higher that you go, the less there is frustrations, anger, jealousy, hate.
The more peace, the more grace, the more love, the more you really look at somebody, something, someone, and do not judge. You take everything in and you give love back. If love is not given to you, you still give love back. Nothing bothers you, there's no judgment, there's no...
And that is because you realize in that space, if you look at someone and you judge someone, or you look at someone and you're like, ugh, I don't like them, it's because they're mirroring something about yourself. And that's what we're in right now still, is if we're frustrating each other, or if someone outside of us is frustrating us, we both have to like sit and question, like, babe, what is it? Like, what is it that's inside that you're not liking, that you're seeing in somebody else? What is it coming from love? What is that? What is that that's in there?
And it's important to mention that you're always going to be that way. You're always going to have that. You don't come to perfection. There is no end result where you're like, oh, almighty, hi. No, I mean, you're always going to have to work through that your entire life. So don't think that, once you hit that, you're like, oh, I'm good. Everything's great. We're awesome.
So that's the other thing about twin flames, is that this is a journey, and this is a path that doesn't have an end point. Like, there isn't a finish line that you're like, yes, we're here, so now we're great and we're always going to be in 5D. No, this is work for ourselves. And when we ascend into 5D on a very regular basis, and we're coming from unconditional love, and we're not judging each other, and we're not judging other people, or even when we do, we quickly flip that and we're like, this is something in me that I still need to work on. That is when we get to focus a lot more on everybody else around us, our families, our friends, our social media networks, anybody that comes into our lives. So that's where we're trying to go. But even at that point, we're still going to have things that are brought up to us because we're always evolving. We never stop evolving. And, Dove and Nicole with Twin Flame Revolution, they talk about video games, oh yes, when there's a problem, it's like a video game level that you're just fighting and fighting and fighting to get past, and then it's like ding ding, but then you're not done. There's a next level, so you never really stop.
Yeah.
So embracing that there's always going to be stuff coming up. There's always going to be change and triggers and all of that, and knowing that it's to learn to love deeper is where you move forward and move on.
So let me ask you a question, because I know people are probably asking, how do I know that you're my twin flame? How do I know that this person is my twin flame?
The first stage or phase of knowing your twin flame is recognition, like we've been talking about. Seeing that person and being like, I know them. And then when you're with them, so for us, we were Facebook friends for 2 years before we actually knew each other, thanks social media. And we connected though on Bumble, and when I first saw his picture on Facebook, I was like, why do I know him? And I saw we went to the same high school, but he was older than me, so I'm like, that couldn't be where I knew him from. Clicked through some of his pictures and I couldn't pinpoint it, but at that point I was just like, whatever, he's this handsome, tall, dark, and handsome guy, totally my type, but didn't really dive into that too deep. Now when he came up on my Bumble, I'm like, oh, and I think our saying was oh, we meet again, which is funny because we've actually met in multiple lifetimes. So it's like, hey.
That is pretty cool.
And I knew him. Before I knew him in this lifetime, I know his soul because it's my soul, and I recognize that there's something there. And so recognition is big, and even listening, we bring up Dove and Nicole with Twin Flame Revolution, they talk about they met online too, and Nicole's I saw Dove's picture and I just wanted to hold her, and for us, it was really our first date and our first physical meeting that we both walked away from and were like, there's something about that person that's totally different than anybody that I've ever met.
I couldn't take my hand off of her heart. I literally was just, not during
he didn't walk in the door and he was like, hey.
But, towards the end of the night, it was just, I recognized.
So what was your, when we started talking and we met, whatever, go through where you were at.
When I walked in the door?
Sure.
When I walked in the door, I was like, man. It was so... It made sense that I was like, okay, everything worked out to where I needed to go meet her at this point in time.
Because he didn't want to meet me.
It's not
he was in school and he had to focus.
I was super busy, and I literally was like, I'll meet you for 1 drink, 1 hour, that's it. I don't have time. It was snowing. It was a new moon. It was cold. I don't like cold.
And I was like, I just want to steal you.
That did it for me. The steal, I want to steal you. Wow. So walking in, I immediately just the bar was packed. The place was packed that we were at, and there was this radiant soul just at the bar, and I was like, wow. And then we started talking, and we started jiving, and we were like this and that and this, and we didn't stop talking for like 4 hours.
One drink turned into a couple drinks.
Couple, yes. And have I had that before? Yeah, but it wasn't on that level of like, I was so intrigued to get to know like where she had been in this lifetime. What have you been doing? Like, where have you been? This is where I've been. Boom, this is where we're at now.
The misconception part of the soulmate and the twin flame. There isn't like a list that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all of these reasons why this person is or isn't your twin flame. There are signs and there are things that can help you recognize them, but really, you know if that's your twin flame. And we can't tell you that. No one can really tell you that. I mean, people might try to tell you, but no one's going to say, oh yeah, that's your twin flame, because at the end of the day, like, you're going to know if that is or that isn't. And
people will question you, like, how do you know? What do you know? Like, what are you talking about? That's not real. They're always going to question, but they're never going to tell you, yeah, you guys are twin flames.
So that's, again, coming into meditation with yourself, coming into kind of the, like, this sounds crazy, little voices maybe that you hear in your head, or your angels or your guides, or however you want to say, your intuition will tell you, is this person my twin flame? Listen to what you hear when you ask those questions, because we all have those answers inside. Sometimes we just need help and guidance, which is what hopefully we can be doing for some of you guys. So stage 1, recognition. Common misconception also can be, well, how do we know if he's a soulmate or a twin flame? Isn't it the same thing? Because you guys will always see social media, #soulmate, found my soulmate.
Which is not a bad thing.
No, that's amazing.
Not a bad thing.
And the great thing about soulmates is we have multiple soulmates. And with each of us in certain lifetimes, one soulmate might be a deeper connection, and that's the person that we end up with. But my best friends are my soulmates, and
Mom.
My mom,
Dad,
yeah.
Sister.
So all of these people that you love and you've got deep connection and deep love for are soulmates. Soulmates also have a recognition phase. So this is where it gets kind of tricky. When you meet somebody that you're dating and you're like, man, I've just known them and I feel like we've jive and we've known each other forever and everything just feels easy, and that doesn't mean you won't have disagreements and you won't have fights or whatever, but it's pretty easy. Everything just fits, and you have the same morals, you have the same religious views and beliefs, or even if you don't, it doesn't matter, and you just get along and everything's great. So those easy, really loving, amazing relationships, and a lot of relationships that you learn from, are soulmate relationships. Where you find kind of that difference is we've had that everything's amazing, we're in this fairy tale, it's like we found one another in this lifetime and it's magical, and then, oh wow, I don't know if that's actually who I thought it was, and he seems a little crazy, she seems a little crazy, so maybe we just need to, call it quits.
Jet. Bye.
So, twin flame, soulmate, both are amazing, both are great. Some people are here to choose that easier path where you are with someone who you're just in that fairy tale more times than not. And then some of us choose the twin flame relationship, which is amazing, and it is euphoric at times, but it's also really, really challenging. We've been raised and taught that this paradigm of relationships is, if it's not healthy, if it's not full of love, if they cheat, if we fight, like, you shouldn't be with them, you shouldn't be in that relationship. And
would that be called conditional?
So the real answer to, is he my soulmate or is he my twin flame, we can't really give you, because you have to know that. And the best thing, or advice I guess we could give you, is meditate on it and listen to what you're feeling and what you're hearing and all of that, because you'll know. And the old paradigms that we have been taught to know have to just go out the window. Which is why in my video that you guys might have watched before, I say, you might think we're crazy, and that's okay.
And we are.
Because we are a little crazy. But we're working, and we're doing the work, and we are going through a lot. So the thing you learn as a twin flame, and what we're hoping people can learn in general, like soulmates, twin flames, maybe you're just here for this lifetime by yourself, and that's cool too. Everyone's got their own path and their own walk in this journey, but unconditional love is what we are working on to send out. So in the mornings, we do meditations and clearings, and even throughout the day sometimes we'll be like, whew, we need a clearing, or we need to meditate.
Often.
Yes. And a lot of twin flames that decide to commit and do the work lose a lot of relationships in their life. They lose family, they lose friends. And that's a challenge in itself, is, wow, I've found this part of me that's so amazing, and I just want to share it and grow and learn. And people who aren't ready to see that or hear that is something we have to love them for and accept them for. And sometimes that's not exciting, because we're super excited about what we're doing, but some people are like, man, you guys are up and down. We've been called a roller coaster. We've been called toxic. We've been called crazy. And there are all those things that in the 3D where your ego lives, definitely, we've checked off all of those. But up in the 5D, when we've done the work and we've addressed like what's been deeper and what's gone on and why things have happened, we've grown past. We've hit the next level. We're better. And now when we come into those things, we're way better than we were months ago when we first hit those roadblocks.
Way better.
Yes. And this, is with any relationship, like he was saying earlier, he's like, I've always heard like, oh, couples that fight and they move on and they get through it, they're better. And he's like, but, old relationship me is like, why would you fight with someone that much and then want to be
Why
with
can't it
them?
just be easy all the time?
Why can't it be easy all the time?
Why can't it be easy all the time? Because that's what I've always ever wanted. I don't want hard. Who wants hard? Like, hello. But you're not growing when you can't. What do they say? When your back is against the wall, you're forced to grow and blast through that wall and move past. But if it's easy all the time, you're just going to be like, man, it's easy. I don't need to do anything.
I said this in my other video. I'm like, if you just want to live in that easy coasting life and that feels really good and really comfortable, like, that's amazing. That is amazing.
And I don't have any judgment of that, because I want that too. And I have lived that. And I'm like, this is cool. Like, easy breezy, Kairos time. No, like, clock time, like Chronos. Just kind of go with the flow, live the life, which I still do. But it's more of, I'm really energized to just do work. Because every time in the past that I've been forced to do work, I've really felt more enlightened, more love, more just being able to give other people love, because I was able to love myself.
Right.
And that shut down and it came back, and now it's just growing even more.
So when you come into the consciousness of knowing what a twin flame is, and then you meet that person, this is where the fun starts, is that you go through all of these ups and downs, and like you'll hear me talk like ebb and flow, push and pull. There's those amazing moments, and then there's like the valleys that we have to go through. And, our mentors have said it, we say it, like those valleys, and when your back's up against the wall, like that's when you grow, and that's when you find the gifts, and that's when you move forward and you get a little better with each other.
That's where euphoria comes from.
Yes. But that can happen a lot. And it's still, like, we've had a week this past week that's been a little rough. And we are good. We had a really good morning. Even before we started this video, though, we had a little bit of a push-pull. But we just breathed through it, and we're like, good. We're good. So there's just a lot that can happen in this relationship. And so I am to the point where I'd really like to be vulnerable and really raw with you guys, because I think it's really easy, if we wait until we come into this 5D all the time great space to just be able to speak about this more. But how raw is it to speak through it? On the good days, on the bad days, on moments when we're having that epiphany of, oh my goodness, why didn't I think about things like this? And being able to share that with you guys, I feel is going to really help us grow and also help you guys grow. If you guys have questions about what is, a twin flame, or like want to talk about it, we're super excited to share with you guys our experience and hear your experience. And there is a lot energetically going on right now. And anybody who is into like astrology or horoscopes, like everyone's raving about the new moon that's coming up, right? And we're all about the moon phases and the new moon, because
I just got goosebumps.
this is new beginnings, and this new moon is an eclipse, and so this is huge. This hasn't happened in
20 plus?
Oh yeah, a long time. So this is amazing for us, and it's amazing for us as twin flames, as light workers. It's amazing for people coming into a higher consciousness who just want to live in a loving space. Twin flames are reuniting right now in physical 3D lives like rapid fire. And the more work that each twin flame does, the more love is like blasted out to everybody, and the more understanding is blasted out to everybody. So when we do meditations and we clear our stuff, we're actually clearing that on a much deeper level, and that is being cleared for other people. So sometimes we end up getting into weird energy and we don't even know why, and it's happening more and more now. And literally, like the other day, I'm like, what is going on? Like, I don't understand why we're all hyped up right now. Like, why are you coming at me? Why am I coming at you? What's going on? And then I have to go back inward and think, something energetically is being sent to us to work through for somebody else, because this is silly. There's nothing going on really between us right now. So we're doing work for us, but we're doing work for you guys and for like this entire evolution of our society as a whole.
And we'll explain more of that later, of how is that possible,
Mm-hmm.
how can you get into that realm, that frequency, that vibration, like all of those words we'll talk about more and more and more in other videos.
Yeah. But we definitely weren't there when we first met. We weren't there even a month ago. Like, this is just stuff that's just now coming up, which is exciting to talk about. Something else is, a lot of people are saying they're waking up more tired now, especially coming into this new moon.
This one is tired all the time. That has to do with being a mama, but it also has to do with doing work. And when we're asleep, her soul's out helping other people. So,
because now we can feel like, oh, we're raising our vibration more and more, because now we're starting to feel that we're doing work for other people. So people are doing work and they don't even know they're doing work. If you're meditating more, if you're looking into self-help, if you're listening to motivations, if you're shifting the old paradigms and way of thinking for yourself, for your relationships, for whatever, you're getting into a better dimension. You're getting into a higher consciousness, and you're doing work. So people are at a soul level doing so much work while they're sleeping, they're waking up tired. I'm like, I don't know why I'm so tired. Because you're evolving and you're doing work, and that's tiring.
We just want to start a community of people helping people. And
Of
love, of unconditional love. Not conditional, but unconditional love.
And if you guys follow us on social media, which we'll put all of our handles and all that, you'll see that our relationship has something that in the regular relationship paradigm does not fit. In society, it doesn't really fit. I met him very quickly after I had ended with another relationship, which is also a big thing with twin flames, is you don't meet each other till you're ready. And sometimes you meet them when you're like married and when you're in other relationships. And that's a whole other part of stuff you have to go through. And I just walked out of a really serious relationship with my son's father. That was a lot. And it's been a lot too that we've had to work through and work past. And man, learning unconditional love has been a constant with that. Bringing this dynamic of Phoenix, my son, into, I'm mom, then there's dad, and now a gonna be, soon to be, bonus dad, who's in the picture. And we want to all surround ourselves and surround Phoenix with love. So we have battled through a lot of things, all of us. And I mean, it's coming into, this is going to be a really great thing to start vlogging about too. Like, we're all going to be watching this eclipse together in Charleston, South Carolina, on the beach, in direct line with it, which is so perfect for the three of us because we've all been doing work. Chills.
Goosebumps again, chill.
On our road trip, like, we're gonna video, we're gonna live, we're gonna talk to you guys, and we want to hear questions about that too, because we know a lot of people who are in these, you know, like, I've separated from my kid's dad or mom, and now I'm in a new relationship, and there's a lot of hatred, there's a lot of jealousy, there's a lot of ego in there. We're going to try our hardest to show you how to do that with love, and unconditional love, no conditions. Not, I only love you if you're with me, or I only love you if you're just being a mom, or I only love you if you're with someone that I really like. Which the thing is, on a soul level, we all love each other, and we're all there for each other, and if there's something between us, that's something we need to work out. That's what we're going to try to show. So coming into this new moon and this eclipse, we're really excited because we're going to have...
You're going to come along for the ride! It's going to be so cool.
So thank you guys for watching. There's just so much we could sit here and talk about, but send us questions, connect with us, follow us on our social medias, and we'll be putting out more videos soon. And we'll be doing lives too for the eclipse, and we'll probably try to do the eclipse live. Super excited, sending out so much love to you guys, and we appreciate all of you. Until next time.
Until next time.